Have you ever seen a guy walking with a beautiful bombshell 9 or 10 and he himself just looks leathered and ugly? That happens so much more than we realize. Women perceive value in men based on their resources, their ability to provide, but also their ability to protect, their assertiveness, their strength of character, their ability to lead. And they look for these kinds of qualities to ensure their own survival and the survival of their offsprings. This is how their brain is wired. Whereas men, we go based on looks. And if you want to start dating women that you perceive as out of your league, you are going to have to increase your own social status. More often than not, many men sabotage themselves by having something called a fixed mindset. A fixed mindset means that you believe the world doesn't change. You yourself cannot change. You are the way you are, the way you were born, the hand that you were dealt is the one that you're going to play. Whereas if you're able to shift that into something called a growth mindset, where you realize that you're always getting better bit by bit by bit by bit. And that becomes compounded over time, and you become a much greater version of yourself depending on which direction you chose to take in the moment. Ultimately, your future is made up of the tiny little steps that you make in the now. And if you truly start consciously creating into the future, you can become the man that you've dreamed of. You can really transform into whoever you want. So how do you yourself become a much higher status male so that you can go ahead and attract the attention of those higher status females, right? The gorgeous, gorgeous 9s and 10s that you wish you could date, but inside yourself, you might be sabotaging yourself and thinking, this girl is out of my league. I could never get her. And it's so funny because some of the most beautiful, beautiful women are so alone and lonely because men are afraid of approaching them. I think I've heard this before and I thought that's probably not true. And then when you meet these girls and you get to know them, they are so lonely and they just want human contact. And if you go in there and you can be witty and funny and charismatic, there is no reason whatsoever that you can't land yourself a 10 out of 10 baddie. Now, finding one that would make a really good wife and one that isn't possessed by narcissism in our modern age is going to be a whole other question. But simply based on the subject of status, here are 5 ways that you can improve your status and date women that are out of your league. Number 1, you want to recognize and challenge your self-limiting beliefs. The difference between a man who goes and does something and a man who thinks about something and never does it is usually self-limitation, self-limiting beliefs that you hold about yourself, whether it be I'm not enough, or I don't deserve success, or women don't find me attractive, most women think I'm ugly, I'm socially awkward, I could never do this, I could never do that, I will never amount to much, I am not enough, right? These are all thoughts and beliefs that so many of us hold on to, and they're like a big bag of rocks where it's not helping you in any way, shape, or form, but you carry them around with you. And so much when you decide to actually take action and do something, the excuses that you make for yourself as to why you're not going to do the thing are usually much deeper within your brain and your psyche in these beliefs, and being able to recognize them and challenge them yourself through, either shadow work or self-hypnosis or even just journaling and just being conscious of what's in your mind can be massive. Because if you keep telling yourself that you can never attract those women, then you never will. But if you tell yourself that you can and you are attractive to those women, it's only a matter of time before you can land one of them. There's 8 billion people in the world. I might even be more now, but you telling me you can't find a gorgeous girl that's out of your league if you try hard enough? Having a growth mindset means you believe that everything in the world is achievable. It's just a matter of a sustained effort over a long enough period of time to get the results you want. So go ahead and get rid of those self-limiting beliefs. I will be having self-hypnosis videos on my channel. Check them out. Number 2, you want to focus on self-improvement. This should be your number 1 hobby of what you're doing in your life. You should just be so hungry, the self-hate and the self-loathing that I know you feel. Direct that towards self-improvement. And over a long enough period of time, you will look back and say, I don't recognize that person anymore because the person I am today is totally different, is the greatest version that I could ever have become. And so why don't you set bigger goals? Why don't you dream bigger? And why don't you show up for yourself every single day and become a better person? Improve your body, go to the gym, go to that martial arts class you wanted to go run that marathon, go do that hike, go out there and be better. Pick out better clothing, learn to dress properly, get tailored shirts, learn to dress for your colors of your skin tones and things like that. Get a nice haircut, groom yourself, read books on everything. There's so many books. You could learn anything you ever wanted in this age of information, and read books, listen to audiobooks. You could easily stack your habits where you listen to an audiobook a week in those moments where you're washing the dishes, or you're hoovering the floor, or you're going on a walk, or you're at the gym. Why aren't you listening to audiobooks? I bet you just listen to music, right? Because you're lazy. So go ahead and start implementing habits that are going to make your life easier, and start going forward with self-improvement, with that growth mentality that I can become whoever I want. And if you want those girls that are 10s, elevating your social status by self-improvement can get you there, because you will just eventually become more high status. And that is the great thing about being a man, is that we get that opportunity. We're most attractive to women from our 30s to 35 to 40s. Women love older men because they are more developed. It's a marathon, not a sprint. But you should already be doing it, dude. So go ahead and watch my channel. I talk about self-improvement all the time. Read books, improve yourself, go to the gym. Honestly, thank me in a few years. Number 3, build social proof, right? Somebody who has a lot of beautiful women around him and high status people around him at all times automatically elevates his social status. It's like adding another driver onto your vehicle's insurance who has many years of no accidents, no claims, and amazing driving history. Suddenly can lower the price of your insurance, make your deal much better. The same can happen with people too, right? If you are hanging out with a celebrity, if you see one of your childhood friends hanging out with a celebrity right now and they're like just chilling, are you not going to assume he is now like the coolest guy ever, right? Like somehow he's like earned a bunch of points on the social hierarchy instantly because of that. If you see a guy that you used to think is a nerd and now he's with like 3 gorgeous women and they're like holding him and touching him, suddenly that nerd is really high status. So surround yourself with other high status people, right? Surround yourself and make sure everybody has something nice to say about you. Make sure you have strong relationships with everyone, and so that everybody likes you. That is the greatest possible way to do it. And don't do it in a people-pleasing way. Nobody likes that. We can all tell when somebody's people-pleasing, and it's really just disgusting. We all hate it. And you hate it as well when somebody's looking for your validation, just trying to please you. It's cringe. And so be authentic. Be a strong, grounded male. Really, you want to elevate your social proof by hanging out with other people who will elevate your social status. And number 4, you want to approach with confidence and authenticity. Honestly, just one interaction, one positive interaction when approaching a beautiful woman could be all it takes for her to suddenly be attracted to you, mysterious about you, interested in finding out more. And she's going to naturally chase you a little bit. And then if you act a little bit more mysterious and you still do the right things, you could go ahead and date her. There's nothing stopping you whatsoever. The only thing stopping you is your own mind. But if you can just be mentally a much better man and go up to her with confidence and assertiveness and charisma and authenticity, most importantly, being authentic because you believe in yourself, because you have a strong character, that could be all it takes for your wife to be like a 9 out of 10. And why not? Why wouldn't you be able to? It starts with a belief in yourself. But to be confident, you need to get rid of something called your approach anxiety. More videos about this coming soon. Approach anxiety is really just a fight or flight response within our own bodies because we're social animals. And maybe if you approach the wrong person back in the day, you could get killed, right? Like you talk to a beautiful girl, her boyfriend or husband comes with a few friends with a rock, crushes your head in. And so that's really just been evolved to keep us safe. But once you get rid of that, and you tough luck, guys, you can only get rid of that by doing it. you will naturally start seeing that people want to interact with you. You'll become more confident because you'll have been validated by your own experiences. And then when you approach those more beautiful women, you exude more confidence. You are authentically yourself. You're rooted. And that's what they want at the end of the day. So if you could just do that, you will be able to date much higher. And number five, create attraction by adding value to her life. Show her why you're worth her time by being a leader, by being supportive, and by really, really connecting with her on a deeper level. This could be with hobbies that she likes, interests, maybe things that she does on a day to day. Maybe you can somehow elevate her experience. Maybe there was something she was talking about doing, or someplace she was talking about going to, or maybe there's something you could help coach her through and help guide her through that. My whole thing is I'm a coach, and so I always coach my partner, and it is your role as that kingly archetype to be that guide, to be able to help her, and she will thank you for it massively. If you can do it without wanting her approval, without being desperate for her to react in a certain way, and you just blindly just add value to her life, she will love you for it, right? She will feel the need to add value to your life. It's just how human relationships go. And this is what you have to do with networking. If you're trying to make a good friend, if you want to make a new business connection, if you want to be liked by other people, just become the kind of person that is always just giving other people value. That's not a big deal. Don't try to impress a woman with money. Most of the time, they won't care. Think about more of the thoughtful things you could do. And if you do all of these things, there is absolutely no reason that you can't date women that are so far out of your league that it'll make your socks. And there is no reason that if you do all of this, that you can't date women that are drastically out of your league.